Hello, Hicksman. I'm Smiley with the Villain's Demand, and with me is...
Evan the Great from the Villain's Demand.
Welcome back to an exciting introduction to the Monsters Matter series. So get ready to diddle your fist stick.
Your adventurers wake up to darkness. You do not know where you are. Your body is getting drugged through like a rocky surface, very slimy. You feel like you have some manacles around your neck. You feel goo
where this is going.
on your hands. You hear a language that you do not understand. And it's so gross and slimy. You can hear the echoes almost like you're going into some type of torture room. Whenever you stop movement, you hear chanting. And you hear other voices coming in, speaking of the same language. And almost think of as a prayer. As you hear one of your comrades screaming, you think he is getting sacrificed. And that is where we will start our adventure and introduce you to the
Kuo-Toa.
on page 199 of the Monster Manual.
I just want to say that I love how their name sounds like Kuo-Toa. For those of you that don't know, look up Roanoke. But it's one of my more favorite subterranean creatures. I think I'm more partial to the Sahuagin or Sahuagin than to the Kuo-Toa, but they are fun to play around with because they are inherently crazy.
I am new to the Kuo-Toa. They're actually in a game we're running now, and I've learned about them. Yeah. We just got to talk a little bit about them, but I am pretty hyped on some of the things that they come from and some of the background that they have. Smiley is pretty versed in it. He's the one running our game.
That's because I over-research things.
You do. What are some of the cool things you can let the audience know that they can do?
Well, first off, you have to think of the things like they're mad. They're not wanting to kill people, per se, when they find them. They want to drag them back. They want to either eat them, use them as an offering to their make-believe goddess, Bindle Pope. They're one of the only goddesses one of the only three that I can think of off the top of my head that are make-believe in Forgotten Realms. They just tell you they are make-believe.
They are. I know some of the things I've read that they used to be topside.
Yes, like their whole prehistory is that they went down to the Underdark and were casted by the Illithid, tortured and mind-fucked until they became the ferrymen for the great mind flayer race that we should all bow and kneel before, because they do not prefer active brains.
They don't. So they live in the Underdark.
They actually, I believe, they have sunlight sensitivity.
They do. It says they gain that over the course of all their slavery underground.
They're like the Drow and the Durgar.
That's my next question, because I know you're more familiar than myself. What is their relationship with the Drow?
They are actually hired out frequently to help ferry people across the Dark Lake, because to them the Dark Lake is a spiritual journey. They're koan.
That's nuts.
Which you can learn a lot about that just going through the first chapter. Actually, I think it's like the third chapter of Out of the Abyss. They talk a lot about their connection to the Dark Lake. But they will allow other races into their city, for mercantile reasons. They don't. It depends on who's in charge that day, who the god of the hour is at times. Generally, they just worship Pope. But there are times where, like in Out of the Abyss, if anything seems to be able to grant them power, they'll take that shit and start a cult. But like the Durgars, unless they have a reason to, like if you were to go to them, they might hear you out. There's a chance that they might just kill you on their doorstep. That's one thing I like about them, because there is no way to predict what they'll do. They sleep with their eyes open and sleepwalk around town, so you don't even know if they're even awake when you talk to them.
I know it's nuts looking at them. Like their eyes are they're wide open, like you haven't slept in like.
But then if
ever.
you look at a Shushar, you guys ever wonder what Jindar looks like?
Hey, I learned something today.
Shushar does not have that. He has squinty eyes.
Oh, it's because he sleeps.
No, it's because he's not crazy.
Oh,
If
wow.
you want to see it. That
Yeah,
is
that looks cool.
That's still. He's a little penis. Still the team's mascot at the moment.
He is. So
I keep trying to kill him. They keep telling me no.
Yeah, we don't want to kill him. So the Kuo-Toa, their gear is what intrigues me the most. What they carry around.
They have very unique equipment.
One of them I just love reading. So they have like a glue or whatever, like
sticky shield,
sticky stuff, and it's on their shield. It's called sticky shield, and they're all about like we was telling earlier about capturing people with manacles and nets. And these shields are great because they can, whenever they block with them, your weapons get stuck to them and they pull them away from you. So not only do they disarm you, trying to grapple these things, they got really natural, like slick skin, watery. They're hard to grapple. Plus, they take stuff from you, and they got manacles, and they're crazy, and they'll bring you to sacrifice you to the archpriest. Which you have more information about the archpriest, I believe. Wait, what was you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say they also all have nets.
Yes,
which should be used. Even if you're playing against higher level players, bump up the DC of the nets and put them with an archpriest. Because Bane plus say DC 15 nets are a bitch.
Yeah, you're only rolling disadvantage and you're in a net.
No,
so.
you don't have disadvantage. You have a minus D4.
Yeah. Well, my bad. Minus D4.
Which
I'm
so
thinking disadvantage for being in the net. So that's nuts.
The archpriest is kind of the voice of their goddess, or let's say Limu Gugun if you're going through Out of the Abyss. And one of my favorite tactics to use with them is have the weaker fodder Kudos throwing nets on people, while the priests are casting Bane on the party, because it makes that where the encounter isn't like we're being attacked, we might die. It's why are we being captured?
Yeah, very scary individuals.
They actually have a pretty good moveset, the priests do.
Yeah, and they're aquatic, so if you're around water and you're in the Underdark, so good luck seeing these things.
Oh yeah.
They can swim. They got hooks as well as their grabbers and all this different stuff. Now the archpriests, they have like followers underneath them. You want to talk about them?
The whips.
Yeah.
They're just a more dumbed down, weaker version of the archpriests. Really, they're meant for like lower level parties. I think they're like maybe a challenge one.
Yep. CR1. They're the ones that have the staff that have like the grabber on it, correct?
Yeah, the man catcher.
That's crazy.
There's also the variant that is the monitor. That's like a monk version.
As far as the god you talked about, who's the god that they work like you was talking about earlier?
Blib Dov Pulp.
Because I cannot pronounce that,
Blib
and
Dov.
I'm sure the audience would like to know about this god.
Well, like I mentioned, he is make believe. Essentially, the theory is that after being freed from the Illithid, the first Kuo-Toa discovered a broken statue of like an elven female and lashed together onto it the head and pincers of a lobster in place of a missing head and hands. That is iconography. Now, the thing with D&D and Forgotten Realms is that enough faith to make something real. So there is an avatar for Blibdolf Pulp.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, it's in the older, like, I think it might have been a second, just that they actually had an avatar stats for her. She's a lesser goddess or a demigod stat-wise, but she's a scavenger. That's why they capture people. They don't just kill them, they capture them because their goddess is a scavenger. And they don't give her anything fresh. They vomit into bowls as offering.
That's so nasty.
It is, seriously. But they give them dead or dying adventurers as offerings. But the idea is like they capture things that they find and bring them to their goddess. Baubles, people, food that's rotted. It doesn't matter. It's all seen. But if you give them something fresh, it's an insult.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In fact, their priests live on the bottom floor of the house. Because normally, like, their whole thing is, like, the priests are supposed to be above everybody at all times, except in a house, so it's easier for them to get to the ocean and run away.
I did not know that.
Literally, that's their thing.
I have learned things today that I did not know.
Just like when y'all met that one priest who was walking on the crowd, that's actually in the book they do that.
I know. I was wondering. They're very crazy, crazy race.
Very crazy.
One other thing I was want to talk to you about, because we actually run with one in the Out of the Abyss.
Yes.
And the variant for him is kind of in this book, and
Yes.
it's pretty awesome. There's the regular Kuo-Toa, and then there's the ones that are variant, and they have they're like a monk.
Yeah, I believe you use the whip as the base and then apply the monitor to it.
Because that's pretty cool. They got they got three. They got a bite and 2 strikes. That's pretty devastating for a variant version of this.
Especially because I think it's supposed to be like a CR1 with their attacks.
Besides that, the only weakness I believe they have is sunlight sensitivity.
That is true, but you're never going to fight them in the daylight.
Yeah.
Usually, but for the most part, they're very low CR. The only difference is the archpriest, and they're ruled by theocracy. They're ruled by their priests. So that's like giving you the stats of a king.
Yeah. The only ability I see on here that is you probably know more about than me. It's called Otherworldly Perception.
I believe that involves their way to travel through water and stuff.
Yes, they
I
have
haven't read about this.
Presence of any creature within 30 feet is invisible or is on an ethereal plane. It can pinpoint such creatures as moving. So really, if you're invisible or you're different
all about that, but yeah.
You cannot sneak up on these things. They will see you, and they will, no matter what plane you're in, if you're close enough.
Think about how your hair crawls on your arm. That's what it's like to them.
So really, they got all these ways to capture you, and they're hard to sneak up on. So in the Underdark, this is very challenging if you were an adventuring party in their lands.
They're very versatile for their CRs, and they're at that mob level.
They should be. And anything, I mean, some of the ways that they're drawn in 5e Monster Manual, these things shouldn't be laughed at. They're kind of scary looking.
Oh, a lot of little horrifying.
Yeah,
but they're made into a joke a lot of times.
They are.
The fact they have, because of the way that the normal one looks, they're made into a joke a lot. But when you flip over the page, you see a guy with a freaking piranha face.
Yeah,
and a lot more terrifying.
But that's all the stuff in the regular Monster Manual. And then Now the Abyss has some information
it talks about them lore-wise.
Yeah.
Which I covered most of it, honestly. Is there anything you would like to add?
I believe that's all that I can add for the Kuo-Toa, but you may have a plot twist exit for us.
You're traveling the dark like in the deep, lightless Underdark. You have long lost the passage of time, lost in trying to find a way out. And then you hear it on the waters. You see a lone vessel rowing up, dumping a bundle into the lake. You hear it call out, "Why? Why? Mother, sleep tonight." As the fist-like creature turns around, he gives out a shriek as the waters turns to chum and run red.